everybody, it's Alexa here. Today we are going to do Sally from The Nightmare Before Christmas. I hope you guys are enjoying 31 Days of Halloween. Even though it is day 2, I'm having a lot of fun. So I'm starting off with a fresh base. I popped my gray-blue contacts in. I also have a fresh washed face. I have laid some moisturizer down. I usually do that off camera because everybody's different with that. So then I just laid my base down, a foundation that was really pale, as you can see. This is like more of my winter foundation. Now, here's where face paint or like body paint would come into play. I don't have this particular color. Her color is like a gray blue. It's very similar to the color I used for Emily for the Corpse Bride, which is coming up also for 31 Days of Halloween. Oops, spoiler. I'm not going to tell you guys what day though. So I'm putting this on with a kind of more dense brush. I usually use this brush for contouring, but we're using this to really pack the color on so there's no holes. I'm not wearing too much around my eye socket because we're going to use some darker colors there so we don't have to waste any product and stuff like that. I'm using kind of a metallic or darker blue, putting this all around my eye socket and kind of blending that down. It's going to give her kind of a sunken in look. I'm applying like a metallic purple to the underside of the eye too, and then I just blended the underside with a gray. So that is all that we did pretty much for the eye area. I didn't want her eyes to look any less or any smaller or anything like that. The blue doesn't help that, but the white we are going to put in the lower water lash line right now, well, it'll help your eyes appear bigger. Of course you can draw on her, you know, very big eyes and very small pupil if you want to. I'm never good at those things, so I just tend to use my real eye. As you can see, I'm laying down the purple, and then it was just too bright, so I went back in with like a gray black, and I added that into the lower side of my eye. And then I didn't like line my upper lash line at all. We used a little bit of mascara, and then we just popped some lashes on, just so her eyes would appear as big as they can. Contacts, of course, always help with this. I'm not really sure what her real eye is because it's just like a black dot, but maybe it's brown. I'm assuming maybe it's brown, but the gray blue helps it stand out. So I'm just going back in my face with that same color, just kind of packing that in. I saw a little bit of foliage. I didn't want that to affect the rest of my makeup or when I laid everything else down. You want to have a good base and make sure you can lay everything down. Just doing a little bit of detail work here. And then I'm just kind of running a gray along my crease, and then I'm going to use a white on my lid and my brow bone. This is really going to make her eyes pop. Of course, you don't have to fill in her eyebrows. She doesn't really have eyebrows. She has like a crease because her eyes are so big in, you know, the claymation movie. But we are going to fill in her eyebrows. She's a little bit more glam than she canonically is. Here's that mascara. Being really careful not to get it on myself. I did my lower lashes too. If you guys see something weird on my thumb, I did cut myself. You can see it at the end of the video. I like pointed out, but that is what is on my thumb. Of course, it was my right hand, and I'm a righty. So I'm just filling in my eyebrows with kind of a dark metallic blue. Of course, you don't have to do this, or you can fill them in to match her orange hair, her, you know. And I didn't know what kind of wig I wanted to use for her, so I ended up using my really bright, kind of wavy orange wig. I think she has more straight hair, but it's fine. This is just my take on Sally. Making her eyebrows look real nice. Put those lashes in. Of course, her lashes are really crazy and really spidery. You can do that if you want to as well. Like I said, this one's just a little bit more glam than maybe you're used to seeing. So I'm just kind of contouring above my eye, just around my temple area, and then you should do your forehead and your contour here too if you so desire to do that. This is just going to make your face look more dimensional and really stand out. So what I did, I think her name is Emily from the Corpse Bride. She had, you know, she was like a decaying zombie. She had like her nostrils I made like really prevalent. With Sally, it's not so much. I know she has more of like a hook in her nose, her nostrils. So I just did a little bit. Now I'm using a really light shimmery blue and just kind of adding this as a highlight. Nothing too crazy, but like I said, this is going to give your face a lot more dimension than if you would leave it 2D. Of course, you can always leave it 2D, but for this specific tutorial, we're not going to leave it 2D. We're going to give a little bit more human characteristic to her. And here I am just using a kind of blue gray. I'm just kind of drawing on where I want all her stitches to be. I did the face first and then I went on to the neck because I tend to flip-flop and do things all over the place, and I wanted to make sure that I'm doing one and then, you know, moving on to the next one. So I spent a lot of time on this. I actually spent an hour and a half, which is a lot for me. I usually spend maybe an hour, usually about 40 minutes. So I really wanted to make sure this one was looking good. I don't know why, but she was really daunting for me to do. I just really couldn't sit down and like want to do her, I guess you could say. So it's a little bit before October. I've done almost everything else for 31 days, and she's one of the last ones I've done, even though she's my second day. If you guys can imagine how much planning goes into this. I think I started back in the spring doing all these, but it's something I enjoy, something I love doing. Maybe, you know, I don't think we're going to do 31 days next year. So here's the contour, like I said, do that before. And then she's got nice kind of reddish lips. So I laid down kind of a berry color first, and then I went over that with a more of a terracotta color, and then we detail in her lips a little bit more. They're kind of pointed. I don't think they're as big, but you know, we're just doing the best we can here. So I laid a little bit of base down on my neck. She has a really tiny neck, So we're going to cut our time in half, you know, and only do half of the neck. And then of course I'm not going to do the whole body painting and everything like that. The wig is going to hide most of that. But if you were to do, you know, her whole outfit and everything like that, it's just really her arms that you'd have to do. So I'm adding a gray to the outside of the eye, the lip, like an ombre, and I just put that light blue in the center of her lips just to really make it stand out. Make her lips appear really big and doll-like, because she is like a doll, you know? She's like a rag doll, right? A zombie rag doll. So I'm just doing the stitches on the neck now. And then I'm adding a little bit more dimension. I added a darker and I added a lighter color, and then I added a white. So this, you know, is probably going to be where you spend the most time. And I try to make her stitches as canically as possible. I looked at a lot of different reference photos for her. Most of them were X's, but some of them were just straight lines or straight like flicks. So try to switch it up a little bit. Don't just do like X's across. Make it a little bit more realistic and do like just one swish and like make them really inconsistent. Don't do just like a line up and down. The only stitch that bothered me was right by the corner of the mouth. As you can see, I just made it way too I want to say one-dimensional, but I just made it way too flat. It just wasn't looking good. I added a bunch of different blues and grays, just lots of different color to make it stand out. And here we are with the white. And if you make the white, like say your brush made the white too big, or it's just like not a good stroke, just take your finger, just kind of pat it on there. As you can see, I do that for a lot of these. But she's kind of a more cartoon, so it's fine if, you know, things look not perfect. And of course she's not perfect. So there I just did that technique where I just kind of pat my finger over it and just kind of drag out that line. Just don't make it so harsh or so bold. And I try to do this only on the top stitch. Of course, if it's a single stitch, then just do it from like the bottom to the top. Just did a little bit of detail work. I put some black on my neck. Of course, you could make her neck even smaller if you want to, but this was more of a realistic humanoid Sally for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I had a lot of fun making this. I got a lot of great feedback on it as well. Always stay up to date on my Instagram. Be sure to follow me on my socials. They're down below. But I'm just Alexa Charlotte MUA on Instagram if you'd like to follow me and see what I'm doing. I think I pretty much have almost everything from 31 Days of Halloween on there. A couple I didn't take pictures of just so you guys would be surprised, but I'm just trying to get you guys in the Halloween spirit. So I love you guys, and thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for day 3. It's gonna be a kicker. Love you guys. See you in the next video. Bye.